Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Tyler. I am the creative arts pastor here at First Capital Christian Church. And I've had several of you ask about our live stream setup and mixing. And so I'm going to start this video series out with our overall setup, how everything is hooked up, and what all equipment we have, that kind of stuff. This whole series is going to be broken down into a bunch of different parts. We'll go from vocals to bass and drums to guitars to keyboards to overall mix ideas. We'll even show you what cameras we have and all that good stuff. Also, we operate on a really small budget. I think total we've spent about $6,000 on our online campus. Um, and it's been great for us. We've seen not only growth on the online campus, but we've seen a lot of growth in person from people who have found us on our online campus. A little bit of background about our church: we are on the dead end, or the back end of a dead end street in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. We're in southern Indiana. The town is about 3,000 people, and our church runs about 1,000, which is pretty amazing. God has been able to do some pretty cool stuff in a residential area at the back end of a dead end street. So I hope you guys enjoy these videos, this series, and let's jump right in. So we uh, we we started our online campus by post producing everything. We have a Saturday night service, and Saturday night we would multi-track our audio, and we would put it all together on Saturday night and stream it live on Sunday. That got to be to a point where it wasn't sustainable, and so within the last few months, we have set up a broadcast mix studio, and that's what I'd like to go through right now. So the first major purchase of the studio was a Behringer X32, which I think is a running joke around a bunch of church sound people's forums online. But listen, for the price, you cannot beat the features that you get with the X32. So we have one for front of house, and we also have one back here in our broadcast studio, which is where I'm at right now. We took an old maintenance closet and turned it into a mixing room and treated it, and it's pretty easy to mix in. So we really like it. So we have this X32. We run all of our audio from the stage to the front of house board. The snake was already there. It's already locked in on the stage boxes. And so we run all of that to the front of house. And then with a Cat 6 cable, we run it through the AES 50 port in the back of the front of house X32 into the 32 in the broadcast studio. From there, we split the gains. So we have gain control back here. And then we use the card out function, so the USB card out function on the broadcast studio to send it to Pro Tools. So let me go over that one more time. So we have from the stage to the front of house, then Cat 6 back to the broadcast studio, and then USB out into a Mac Mini that's running Pro Tools. From Pro Tools, we are running every single channel, all 32 channels processed, and then the outs of every single one of those channels is the output on the X32. So for example, if we were running the kick drum to channel 1, the input in Pro Tools would be channel 1, but the output would also be channel 1. So it's like a continuous loop back into the X32. From there, we are running the master out of the broadcast X32 via XLR cables to the switcher. So one more time. Excuse me. One more time. Here we go. We have stage to the front of house, Cat 6 back to the broadcast studio, splitting all those channels out via USB to Pro Tools, back into their respective one-to-one channels, and then everything's processed, sent out of a master output on the broadcast studio X32 to the switcher where it's combined with the video and ready for streaming. Now let's go over some specifics of what equipment we got. So we have the X32, obviously. We bought two really cheap Scepter brand monitors. They are 1080p, and you can see what you're doing on Pro Tools. We just have those mounted with some monitor arms right above the X32. We also treated the room with some Oralex foam and some bass traps that we have in the entire corner sections of the room. We also bought a TCL, which is the Roku television, and we got a 50-inch television that the broadcast mixer can see what's going on in the auditorium, make sure they're throwing delays at the right time, that kind of stuff. So all of this ran us about $5,000, um, and it's been great. It's been worth it. So total, I think we spent $6,000 last year, including some different cameras and some stuff like that, and this mixing room. And it's been a really good thing for us. Fortunately, we already had a Black Magic switcher, so I'm not including that in the overall price. But most churches already have some type of switcher. If you don't, then that's going to run you an extra probably $1,000 or so. We got some mono price um, monitors. Before you knock that, these are the studio monitors. Before you knock that, I was mixing on PreSonus Aries 8s, and our worship pastor was mixing on the Yamaha H8s. And I recently switched to the mono price because an audio buddy of mine said they were awesome, and so I said for $250 for a pair, I'm going to try them out. And I immediately got rid of my Aries 8s, and our worship pastor likes these just as much or better than his Yamahas. And so for $250, we could not pass these up. They're very, very flat, and they have a great bass response for the price, especially. Um, as far as plugins go, we bought it. We have a lot of Waves plugins. We have the Slate Everything bundle and some various other things that you'll see in some of the other videos. Um, and I think that's about it for equipment outside of just some various knickknacks like this mouse that we got for like $8. It's a jelly comb mouse, $8. It's good stuff. Um, yeah, so that is it for the setup, and we'll move on to the next video, which will be all about the most important thing in a worship mix, which is vocals. Thanks, guys.